Good morning or afternoon. So it's been a minute since I've jumped on live and did a behind the scenes of making my skin food. So today I'm going to make oatmeal salve. So let me get a little blow up out the way, and you guys can just hang out with me however you want, however long. Oh, I didn't pin this. I thought I did. You guys could hang out with me however long you want, and I'll try to get this done within an hour. Hey, how are you? And as always, if you guys have any questions about your skin food, you are more than welcome to ask as I am preparing your skin food. So let me get this ready. For the oatmeal salve, I have several infused oils that I'm going to be using to add into your oatmeal salve. That's what makes it so healing and great for eczema, very dry skin. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'm trying to see. I'm so used to not doing products on live. I'm trying to see what's the best thing to do first. Okay, calendula. Let's do this first. And I use 2 mixers to make my products, to make it a double batch, because a single batch does not last long at all. And honestly, I wish I had one of those commercial mixers. It would make life so much easier. So let's see here. Calendula. Good morning, guys. I'm making some oatmeal salve. I'm making a double batch of oatmeal salve. And this is one of the infused herbs that I add in it, which is calendula. Hopefully you guys could see as I'm pouring it in. I have to strain that again. So sometimes if you see little specks in my oatmeal salve, that's because it's little specks of the herbs that's in the, hey, Monty, Luca, stop. That's little herbs in the product. So just so you know, you're getting the real deal, especially when you see these little specks in there. So let me strain this one again, so it's not too many specks in there. And try to get it as clean and fluid as possible. And this oatmeal salve has so many healing properties in there because of all the herbs I infuse. I actually infuse 5 herbs. Hey! I actually infuse 5 herbs in the oatmeal salve. So this is one of them you can see here. And the other ones, which I'll be pouring as I go along. I'm just kind of showing you up front. So let me prepare the next one. Actually, This is gonna get kind of messy, so let me put this here. And you see, if I don't strain it properly, you see all the herbs that still sits in there. I don't want that to be in your Salve, so I'm gonna wipe this down.
Where are they?
They're in the crate. You could come. Our dogs are very protective, which I love.
I didn't know you were home because I wanted to show you, but you can have the rest of them.
Okay, that's fine. I'm doing a live stream right now, so I'll have it when you're done. So the first herb I'm straining out is calendula. And you know calendula is very healing, very calming for the skin and the body. And especially for people that have eczema. So that's why when I formulated this recipe, I made sure that every single ingredient was good for eczema. Every single thing that I put in here is good for eczema. So I probably should have strained this off live, but this is a behind the scenes, so you get to see the whole shebang. Did I say you get to see the whole shebang? The whole shebang. Okay, make sure this is... And then you guys get to really see that I make your products with lots of love. So that's the first oil. That's the first infused oil that I added. The top fell, so I'll fix this later. The second one is my favorite, comfrey. So I'm pouring. Kind of straining out the herbs at the same time that I pour it into the measuring cup. I'm actually straining it twice so that there's no residue of the herbs. If you can see this, comfrey, oops, is it has a lot of little specks too. You probably could see it at the top. Okay, so that was that. And again, guys, I'm having to do it twice because I'm making 2 batches. So and I'll show you this part because I already strained it the first time. So this is me, this is me straining it again the second time just to get all the little extra herbs out of there. So this is the comfrey. Now I have to do it again for the other batch. And once I get a commercial mixer, whenever God blesses me with that, then I just do everything in one big shebang. But for now, I do what I have to do with what I have. And it's been sustaining me for 4 years, so that's a blessing. And here's the comfrey. So instead of staying on live and infusing the other oils, well, I'm still gonna do it, but I wanted to move on to the oatmeal. That's added. Ariana, I need your help opening this because my hands have oils in it. It's hard to open. Vitamin C, not vitamin C, vitamin E is in the oatmeal salve. Very nourishing for the body and gives it a nice coat on the skin. Make sure I'm following my recipe here. Some of the powders that I use in here. This has so many amazing ingredients. The oatmeal salve have infused herbs and powders in the oatmeal salve. So that's what makes it a little thick also. And the oils that I use in the infused herbs are thicker oils. So when people try the oatmeal salve, they notice that it's much thicker than the lavender and lemongrass body butter. I'm trying to talk and stay focused at the same time because I'm one to make a nice, big, huge mistake while I'm doing this. So trying to stay focused and follow my recipe to a T. And this also gives it a grainy look. It doesn't look the same as the other powders, the other butters. And I only have 3 butters in my line. I keep things simple. There's not a ton of butters to choose from. It's either lavender, lemongrass, or oatmeal. So that's chamomile. So I'm adding other herbs in here. I need to order more of this. And if I step off, that's because I'm working on the second batch and adding the same ingredients to the second batch. Okay, so we got Ari, come open this for me, please.
What am I opening?
This right here. We have Haitian moringa oil in the oatmeal. And I try to infuse Haitian moringa oil in every single one of my products because I want to be able to support the women that makes the oils. Moringa is very famous, and look what you're doing. Moringa is very big in Haiti. There's lots of land and they grow it a lot. So clean up the floor. So I like to buy my moringa oil from there. So thank you for opening this up for me, Ariana. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask while I'm cooking your skin food. Okay, now I got pretty much all the powders I need to get in here. And you have to be very careful when you're making butters because any water that gets into the butters can contaminate the butter. So I make sure I wipe down everything with alcohol, making sure there's not a drop of water. I wash everything the night before so it can air dry, and then I clean it with alcohol so it's sanitized. So this is what the beginning of your oatmeal salve looks like. Okay. Let's see, what's the next thing? More infused herbs. Let me go ahead and strain them at the same time. Hey. We have lavender. And those that are jumping on, if you have any questions, feel free to ask before you have to go on with your day of work or whatever else you're doing.
They never went back away.
I know, I saw that.
So what am I supposed to do?
Leave it the way it is. So when you're straining your herbs, you want to make sure you get every little bit because the herbs will hold on to the oil and you'll throw away the herbs thinking that they're strained completely and they're not. Add a little bit more in here to make it the amount I need. Okay, perfect. So there's different ways you can make infused herbs. You can put your herbs in whatever oil you want to put them in and let it sit for 6 to 8 weeks next to a windowsill and let the sun kind of help infuse the oil with the properties of the herbs. Or you can, one second, let me make sure I got this. You can do the same thing, but put it in a crock pot and have the water up until here for the crock pot. Be sure that the water doesn't go over because the water will seep inside the jar and you don't want that. So if you want to infuse herbs, and it doesn't have to be about making skin products. It could be maybe you want to have a lavender oil and you want to use the real herbs and lavender essential oil. So let's say you love jojoba and you want to really infuse herbs in the jojoba. Hold on, let me not get off track. Let me pour this in here. You want to infuse herbs in the jojoba, so you get a jar like this and fill it up with however amount of herbs you want to put, and then fill the rest of the jar up with your oil that you want to use on your body, and sit this in a crock pot, again lining up the water up to here so it doesn't go over. And basically you're simmering this the whole time. So you can do it for 8 hours on the crock pot. And you have to make sure the temperature doesn't rise above 165. Because the thing with infusing herbs, you can burn the property of the herbs. And if you're trying to use it because you want it to affect your body in a specific way, you want to be sure that you don't burn the property of the herbs. Okay, chickweed. So for me, what I did with these, I put the herb in there, I put the oil that I use, and then I put it in a crock pot. For 8 hours. Temperature less than 165. 165. And then now I'm infusing it into my oatmeal salve. I can't do the 8 weeks because if my oatmeal salve sells out within that time frame, then I have to wait 8 weeks to make more oatmeal salve. I can't do that. So I just make mine in the crock pot and be sure that the temperature doesn't go over so I don't burn the properties. And I'm sorry guys, it's probably hard to see me pouring it in here. And what I'm doing, I'm double straining it. So I strain it out of the jar. So I'm straining it out of the jar the first time, and then I'm straining it into the container that I'm making the products in. So I got this. The first herb was calendula, chamomile, not calendula. That's what I get for talking and doing this at the same time. So this is calendula. All very healing oils. The calendula is the easiest to strain because the herbs are so big. What I need to do to make this process much easier and not take so long is to infuse them and combine all the oils and just put the oils in one jar. So let's say I pull this jar, then I know this jar is for all the oils that I need for the oatmeal salve, and that'll be done. So maybe next time I go on live for a little behind the scenes, I'll have it prepared in that way so it's not taking so much time to see each individual oil being poured. But then again, that's how you learn how to make infused herbs. So you learn something new. All right, so I have I put my essential oil in there, and then I'll put my shea butter and start whipping. Now the oatmeal salve, I never have to, well, I don't necessarily have to worry too much about it melting in the summer because it's thicker. It will still melt, but it won't melt as bad as the lavender and the lemongrass. And people love their whipped butters, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this summer yet. I know I did a poll asking you guys what you wanted, and a lot of you guys said solid butters. But the problem with the solid butters is that for the same size you're getting for the whipped, you'll have to pay more for solid, because when I fill up the jar is gonna give you a lot more essential, a a lot more product. Because right now, let me show you an example. When I whip my products, this is an 8-ounce jar. But when I put whipped product in it, the size of the product is 4.5 ounces. So you get 4.5 ounces, and that's what I charge, is 4.5 ounces in whipped body butter. If I make the body butter solid, it's gonna give you about 7 to 8 ounces. So that means I would have to increase my price to reflect the more butter that's in the jar. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the butters for the summer. All right, I have all the ingredients I need in here except the shea butter. So I'm gonna measure out my shea. And then we can start whipping away. To make the oatmeal salve. And I like to measure my shea on a flat plate. It makes it a lot easier to handle. And I actually have a big box of shea just sitting right here, so I'll just be pulling from it. And I can tell you, the shea butter is never easy to take out of these containers because they're so hard. But since we're getting to the end of the shea butter, it may be easier this time. So that means I need to order more. Here's the shea butter. Sorry, I'm all up in the camera. With everything I have on the counter, I can't put this big box on the counter. Okay. Yeah, I get exactly what I wanted. All right, now let's pull some more for the second batch.
Can you pass me the good cheese?
Oh, you're gonna have to wait, baby. And if you wonder what kind of mixer I'm using a KitchenAid mixer. Well, at least I actually have two mixers, so hold on, I'll tell you what the name of the second one is as soon as I get this butter in the mixer. And I have to plug it. So 1 second. Okay. Ooh, no. This thing started whipping the butter real quick. Okay, the second mixer that I have is called Cuisine Art. Okay, so let me measure out some more shea butter while this is mixing. And since this mixer whipped out some of the oil, I just added a little bit more calendula. And I buy my shea butter 55 pounds at a time, which I'm thinking I need to probably go to the next level because it goes by fast. I remember when 55 pounds would last 2 years, which is the exact amount of shelf life for shea butter. An ice cream scooper is so much easier to scoop out the shea butter. We don't eat ice cream in the house, so I might as well put this to use. All right. We'll start whipping this one too, as I still go back and get more shea butter. What I did, I took out half. I'm gonna start letting that half whip, and then I'll keep pulling the other half and then add it in as it's whipping slowly. So like that, what just happened doesn't happen again. So I'm just slowly putting it into the machine so it can whip on low. I know a lot of people, they melt down their shea butter and because they feel it's too hard, so they melt it down and then use it. To me, that is such an extra step. Honestly, if you know how to make a good body butter and you understand skin and you know how to use the right oils with the body butter, you don't have to worry about hard shea. And I think that's the one thing a lot of people notice about my body butter is that it's very easy to use, it's very soft, it goes into the skin, and it's not like greasy, shiny. Once it goes into your pores, you're good. But then you have some body butters that just, the people that make them, or if you're making it yourself from a recipe, the oils kind of tend to be too thick for your skin because either the person that's making the recipe doesn't understand the skin and know what oils to use in a body butter to make sure that it feeds the skin, Skinfood. So then you have a body butter that's hard to use. So when I'm consulting with small businesses about making natural products. I have one gentleman that I've been working with, I want to say the past year. He'd come by my products, test them out at home, bring the products to me, have me test it out. I'd give him feedback on the product. He'll go home, play around with it some more, come back to me, have me test it out. And give him more feedback. So now he feels comfortable on making his skin food without it just being something that looks like it's been thrown together just to make a profit because everybody's into natural products. I never advise for that to be the way to go, because at the end of the day, people are going to know if you know your stuff or if you don't. So if you're a business that's watching my live stream now, good morning. If you're a business watching my live stream now, take some time to understand the skin, because it's not just about making natural products. The products are growing on the skin. So you want to really know what the product is doing to your skin. Take time and test the ingredients you're using. When I was formulating my body oils, my daughter doesn't like certain feels of body oils. Lovely, let me know what it is you want to talk about and I'll bring you on. My daughter doesn't like thick body oils. She likes it to be nice and light. She doesn't like heavy body oils. So I sat there and had her test out each single oil individually so that she could try on her skin. And according to I remember sitting here in the kitchen and she put out her arms and it was argan, moringa, blah, 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 oil. And one by one, she tested the oil to see how it absorbed into the skin, if it was a dry absorption, or if it was a wet absorption, tongue twister. And by the time she finished testing out all the oils, I knew what oils she liked. And by the time I was done, that's how I formulated the body oils. So my body oils were really formulated according to what she likes. But according to what she likes is what a lot of people like also. So that's how I made Hydrate, by the way, which is back on the market. Lemongrass and lavender. And a lot of people are surprised when I tell them my body likes body oils, because they'll say, well, your skin doesn't look greasy. You have body oil on right now? Yes, I do. So once again, it's all about learning how to combine the ingredients to make it work for the skin type that you're formulating the ingredients for. Okay, so let me give this, I'm gonna let this blend for a little, mix for a little bit. It's gonna go on high. And let me just double check my recipe. It's gonna be hard to do here. Okay, give me a second. I'll answer. I want to make sure. Okay, so to answer your question, what in those ingredients is causing you to break out? There has to be something in there. It has to be something in those products that you're using that's causing that reaction. Have you had a chance to look at the ingredients in each of the products you use and see what the common denominator is? There's probably a common denominator in those products to make your face act the way it's acting. There has to be. So that's my first suggestion. Give me a second. Let me make sure this is the way I want it to be before I... So this is what the oatmeal Salve look like. Got to be careful so it doesn't drop. Okay, so first off, check to see each of those products that you mentioned. Check to see what the common denominator is, because 9 times out of 10 there's something in. Okay. There's something in those products. I guarantee you there has to be something that all of them have that's causing the breakout. Have you ever tried natural products? Let me know if you've ever tried natural products, and if you have, how did it react on your face? As you're answering that question, I'm gonna know. Okay, is your skin oily or dry? Let me know if you're oily by nature or dry by nature. Dry. Okay, so what I would suggest is for you to try my Pine Tar mini set. Now, you may say to yourself, well, your skin doesn't have any scars. Why would you want to use the Scar Butter? The Scar Butter is an amazing moisturizer, even for people that don't have scars. Now, what I will tell you, when you were saying that you don't like to use, wait, let me see what you said. I don't like my face feeling oily, but you need it to be moisturized. You have to use the right product. So even though you use a product that's made with oils and butters, that doesn't necessarily mean that your face is gonna be oily. So like, look at my face right now. Does my face look oily? Let me move this back up so when you answer, you could tell me. I can see. To you right now, does my face look oily? I don't know if there was a problem. I don't know if you got to hear my question. My question was, to you right now, is my face oily? Looks smooth, okay. But it looks smooth, but I use oils on my face. I only use oils. So my arm doesn't look oily, my face doesn't look oily. Will it get a little sweaty and then look oily at that time? Yes, but by nature, my face doesn't look oily. So You have to know what products to use on your face so that it can moisturize your skin but not be oily at the same time. So you could do one or two things. You can get the pine tar set and test that out. That's $15 before tax and shipping. That's a small pine tar. Let me see if I have an example to show you. Of course not, because I need to package some more. I don't have an example to show you, but it's a size soap maybe about this big. It's 1 ounce, and the Scar Butter is about that big. It will give you 1 week's use. If used properly, it will give you 1 week's use. In that week, you will know, by the end of that week, you will be able to say, I like this product, I'm gonna buy the full size, or no, Donata, I don't like this combination. What other combination do you suggest? And then from there, I'll give you some suggestions. Okay, what sample do you have? Hold 1 second. You brought the pine tar mini set? Okay, you have the pine tar soap. Do you have the Scar Butter? Let me know if you have the Scar Butter. Okay, so you brought the pine tar soap and the hair butter. All right, so what I need you to do is, I'm assuming you're in Miami, right? I hope. Let me know if you live in Miami. While you're doing that, I'm piping the butter into the jar. So when you're a small business, you find creative ways to make your products. So, okay, you live in Coral Springs. Here's what I suggest. If you're ever at the farmer's market, because you could do one or two things. If you come to the farmer's market, you can, I can actually have you sample right on the spot the Scar Butter. Before you even buy it, you could sample it and see if you like the feel of it on your skin and body. And then you can purchase it. I think that's the best way to do it, because you get to feel it before you even try. You can even put it on, like come to the farmer's market, come see me first, put it on. And then after that, go visit some other places at the farmer's market. And within an hour or two, come back and let me know how you like the butter. We can definitely do that. I don't think Coral Springs is far from the farmer's market. I can't remember. I don't think so. I think it's less than an hour drive. So if you're gonna come, kind of make it like a field trip and come enjoy some spots at the farmer's market, because the farmer's market is amazing. If you're into fruits and vegetables and juicing or eating healthy, definitely make a trip down there and come stock up on your fruits and vegetables. So make it more than just, you know, coming to sample a butter. Kind of get some other stuff out of it while you're at it. So that's the best thing I suggest. The other suggestion would be to buy the mini size, which will again give you 1 week's use. That's $10 without shipping and handling. Yeah, well, handling includes taxes. Without shipping and taxes, and then you could sample that out for a week. But I promise you, I've yet to have somebody come tell me that the Scar Butter is greasy on their skin. I've yet to find it. And again, and that's what I try to explain to people. That's the difference of somebody knowing the skin and formulating a product, and people that don't know skin and formulate products. When I formulate products, I always have the skin in mind. So I'm always thinking about, okay, when you're using the anti-aging serum, if the person's face is greasy, how would it feel on their face? If the person's face is dry, how would it feel on their face? So that's why I haven't really had to have a whole bunch of products. You know, dry skin this, oily skin this. I haven't had to have a whole bunch of like a ton of different products because I try to make something that works for everybody. So I think you're gonna like it. And the best way to know is sample it out. And when you're there, go ahead and like sample the scar butter on one side of your face and then sample the anti-aging serum because you don't need the scar butter for scars, but it's a good moisturizer. So while you're there, if I'm not there, because I'm only there on Saturdays, Sundays I go by, but I'm not really there on Sundays. So on Sundays, I try to make it by 2 o'clock so I can get there in time to get my fruits and vegetables and see a few clients if I already know a few clients are gonna be there. But Sunday mornings, I try to make it family day. Saturdays, I'm there all day. So if you wanna double check, send me a DM. Hey, Danana, I'm coming down. Just double check too, because this is my business. I'm the only one that does everything. So if there's a family emergency or something happened, like there was a funeral, I think 2 weeks ago I had to go to, I wasn't there. So definitely reach out to me and just double check that I'm there. But for you, be sure when you come and see me or Stephanie, depending on what day you come, you ask to sample the scar butter on one side and sample the anti-aging serum on the other side of your face and see how you like both. And then at least you get a good feel of which products you really like. And then when you make your purchase, you feel confident in what you're getting. Okay, does that sound good? Oh, cool. The only thing is, because of the way Instagram is, it's hard for me to see who I'm talking to. So when I go look at the profile, especially if the profile is private, I can't see the person. So it's hard to, you know, kind of remember the names and faces with Instagram. So when you come, remind me it's you, okay? Awesome. I'm glad that will work out for you. At the end of the day, I am always here to find something that works, okay? It's not about selling products. It's about selling you something that works so that you can continue coming back. This is what the oatmeal looks like, by the way, guys. Here's the finished product. All that talking, but I'm still working. So, awesome. Yay, I'm happy. We'll get it together. We'll get it together for you. We'll be sure you walk out with something you really like. So guys, this is my behind the scenes. Those that are watching on the replay, you're more than welcome to shoot me any questions that you may have regarding your skin food. Always gotta check, you never know. What's hiding in these jars? Oh guys, and talking about making stuff, see you soon. Talk about making stuff that are homemade. Even though I blended this in the blender, look at this big piece of shea that came out. So one thing I like to always explain something to people about my products. At times you may find little chunks of shea butter, never this big, but you'll find little chunks of shea butter in it, and whenever you do, just go like this. I'm gonna show you what to do. Again, you'll never find anything this big in there. When you need a little chunk, you can't find. You won't find something this big either, but let's say something this big was in your jar of butter. Let it squeeze in your hand and let the warmth of your hand melt it. So you see it's already starting to melt it. And of course, if it was on my skin, it would melt faster. So when you see little chunks like this, be sure you just kind of squeeze it in your hand and let it melt. It will melt away. But clearly the machine did not mix up. I'm gonna take this off so it's easier to work. Clearly the machine didn't mix that piece up. And one day, as another company advised for me to get a filler, one day I'll be able to have a filler to fill up my jars. But until then, this is what I have. So you see this one has a little chunk of shea. I'm gonna leave it in there, but it's usable. I remember I used to fill up these jars individually with a spoon on live stream when I used to show live more of me making my products. And I had a young lady jump online and say, Donata, use a Ziploc bag to pipe out your butters. And I tell you, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Of course, when I get the filling machine, it'll be much easier. But for now, it's much faster. And then I just type it, pat it down. And voila, there you go. Now this one was filled up a little too much because I wasn't using the scale when I filled it up. So sometimes the heat will make it melt, seep outside. So guys, this is it. I'm gonna go ahead and go offline and finish this up. But I wanted to show you what it's like making your oatmeal salve. And for those that are watching on a replay, oh, it's time to go. Those that are watching on a replay, if you have any questions, you can DM me. Thank you for watching. Feed your skin from the inside out. Check you guys out at the farmer's market. And love you guys. Have a blessed day. Bye.